But let's get started. So I appreciate everybody hopping on. My name is Danny Copinga over here at Annuity's Genius. Um, we like to, well, this is a master class that we do every Wednesday at this time. It's 11 a.m. Pacific, out of our headquartered office in Orange County, California. Um, we basically, the idea behind this is taking specific tools from Annuity's Genius and kind of diving into it in more detail. Lately, we've been spending a lot of time on Grant AI just because it is probably from like an individual feature launch, probably the biggest that we've ever done. And so we really want to get users using it as much as possible because there's a lot of power behind it. But we like to take other pieces of the tool and kind of dive into it more detail on how to use it, best practices, all of that. And then obviously, have kind of an open dialogue on as questions pop up along the way. And so as we start, there's actually a poll that I want to go to. There's two questions that I'm going to go in. The first one I'm going to launch it right now is experience. I like to do this just out of curiosity and kind of knowing the audience that I'm that's on today. And so this is in regards to your annuities sales experience and how many years you have. I'm always curious to kind of see our audience and how they hop on. And so I'll give this maybe 30 seconds or so to get a chance to answer the poll on your experience. And then we'll go to the second question that I have as well. All right, so it looks like we have a pretty good mix from beginners. It's almost half and half from beginners to people that have 5 or more years of experience. So that's great. And so I appreciate everybody answering that poll. The second poll is, I'm going to launch this, is our annuity genius features. So if you're new, you may not know which one you will find the most useful, but if you have any experience using our tool, I like to always kind of see what pieces of it or what parts of it specifically individuals find the most useful. And so if you get a moment, feel free to hop on to which feature of Annuity's Genius you find the most useful. We are very open to user feedback on adding new features. And so that's one thing that we um, we take a lot of user feedback, I guess, in our product map for future releases and everything like that. Perfect. All right, so it looks like the income calculator is the most popular out of those, and then a handful of others as well. Perfect. All right, so I appreciate you all taking a moment to go through those polls. Let's jump into today's class or master class, I should say. All right, so as I mentioned, um, uh, for the next probably for the last couple weeks and for the kind of I would say at least the next today and then next week, obviously with it may not have a lot of people show up because it is the day before Thanksgiving, but we're going to still spend a lot of time on just utilizing Grant AI and how to do that and taking a case. But one thing I wanted to go through that is I would say maybe underutilized and kind of just a nice to have that we've seen some agents have a lot of success with is our website. So if I come over to the website, depending on which plan you're subscribed to, this basically gives you, I think the easiest way to put it is a kind of like a website out of the box. So traditionally, if you're going to get a website, you would have to go and get your own domain, and then you would then host it somewhere and then build it. Most of the time now, I mean, back in the day, I remember you'd have to hire a designer to actually do it, and it would be pretty expensive and go back and forth, and you're basically building it from scratch. Nowadays, almost every domain, or there's so many tools now to where you basically can use kind of a template, or there's AI tools that basically build from text to build websites kind of over in 30 seconds now. And so it's a lot easier, but it is still a lot of work. This one is basically just kind of an out of the box website that's provided to you as a value add to our service. And so if I come over here, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this. I just like to point this out because we have had some advisors and agents had pretty good success in utilizing this, where basically, if I come over here, you can see I can scroll down. This is kind of um, the content within the site. On this left section, this is where I can make adjustments. So if I go to website settings, this will go to the different pages that I can adjust. And then below is where I can custom configure or add my own information in. So like in this case, when it goes like contact information, obviously I'm going to put my own contact information, and then I can have all of my social links if I have those. And that'll pop up on it so they can click on it. If I go into advanced, this is going to be kind of more on the HTML tracking code. If you don't know about that, not a big deal. It's been designed for Facebook as well, so you can have, Facebook. We have a lot of people that are utilizing Facebook for lead gen. Um, but this is basically just you can go into here and you can custom configure what you're going to show. See, I have my product deck. That comes from my custom deck that I created. So I'm going to only show obviously products that I'm contracted with that I can show. But again, this is really useful because lots of times you have to do this on your own, or you may have it depending on kind of the agency you're working with, and it's provided to you. But this is basically just there to utilize, and it's just a matter of adding your information, making some tweaks, and then it's basically live and ready to go. I mean, if you get one deal from it in a year, it's probably going to pay off by having it. And so when it comes to getting leads, it's a numbers game. So the more you can get yourself out there, that's great. Whether you actually do like pay-per-click marketing with this or post this on like social media and even do social media marketing, this is just basically a good spot to put it. The video itself built into here has it's structured as basically a video funnel or a lead funnel where you can see it basically plays a video which kind of educates prospective leads about the value of annuities and how they work. And then it stops between the video where they can enter their information. And when they enter that in, that just shoots an email to you with that information that they entered. And then it also enters that context information into your CRM within Annuities Genius. And so it's basically built specifically for lead funneling, which again is nice because building into your website and kind of configuring it, if you don't know what you're doing, can be cumbersome as well. So this is our what we call our webinar funnel with the video funnel on our Genius plan. On our other plan, you have the classic mode, which is is it more stagnant, where you can again kind of customize what information they're going to see in here. But it's same thing. It's built as a funnel, but more of a stagnant information, kind of more of a getting a quote request as opposed to the video piece. And so if I come over here and I'll switch my screen, this is what the actual site looks like if I clicked on that link. So you can see how it's formatted, and it has basically the video, it has my information, and then it will have, in this case, MIGA quotes. It has some traditional FIA quotes and or traditional fixed annuities, and then it has FIA quotes beneath that, and then kind of just general information that I can that they can see. So a nice extra resource. Again, it's kind of a bonus for having our tool. I would say not a lot of people fully utilize it, but it's there, and it's again, when it comes to leads, it's kind of just getting your name out there, a numbers game, and so it's just another way to another feature that you can utilize. I wanted to spend the first couple minutes on that, just pointing that out, because I've noticed a lot of people have overlooked that or don't know how to use it, and just wanted to show kind of how it's set up. And it takes about 5 minutes to put in your logo, your information. You can color scheme it, all of that. You can change the subdomain name, so you can see it has it's at annuitiesgenius.com, but it'll have typically the default is just your name .annuitiesgenius. But if I had like uh my agency name, or I was selling it under DBA or something like that, I could say, let's say, uh retirement, if I could spell retirement planning dot annuitiesgenius.com now. And so you can basically save that subdomain and have it based around however you have your branding or whatnot. And so again, I could do that just from I go to dashboard when I log in. That's going to have a click on website. Website pulls it over here, and it has that section right there that you can mess around with. Um, Cool. So I wanted to go through that and just point out that feature. Very useful if you're doing paid marketing or anything like that, because it is specifically built to facilitate that as far as something that you can use in addition to whatever other marketing you're doing on your own. All right, let's jump back over and let's go through a Grant AI case. If this is your first time hopping on one of our master classes, what Grant AI is basically an AI tool specifically built for annuities. If you've had any experience using AI with like ChatGPT or Gemini or Gronk or whatever, most of them are typing to or chat or talk to type, but it's basically typing it in and then kind of asking it questions, putting in scenarios, whatever, and then it spits it out. The use case is the same with our AI tool. You're just going to basically type whatever information in, and then it will start processing the case. And so I'll does anyone have a basic case that they want to throw in that we can use for this example? If you want to just put it in the chat, feel free, or I can just toss one in. It looks like Tom has a question on Roth conversion capabilities. We are actually working on a specific webinar for that we're testing out, just making sure everything's good, and we will have something shortly. Partial Roth IRA conversion. That's something we're building out as well, to be more accurate, that we should have shortly. All right, so I'm just going to come up with a case right now. So I'll say that we have Tom in Nevada. Let's say 300,000 IRA, and he's 55 and wants income at 65. Super basic. His wife is, I'll say 53 and need income to cover both. All right, so I'm going to keep it pretty basic in this one, and we can kind of start from a very broad sense and narrow it down. So I'll just go process case. What this will do now is first, what it's going to do is it's going to add Tom as in the client as a client. And so it'll basically put in what I gave it: IRA, 300,000, 55 male, joint. It doesn't have a spouse's name. So let's just say this is Mary, 53. I'll create client. What it's going to do now is basically it's going to take this, and it has kind of some initial prompts that I can utilize on what I want to do, or I can just go create annuity best fitting for the client. So I'll submit that. And it's going to take this, and now it's going to start working through and stating everything out. So again, I was pretty broad on just age, what the amount they're working with, when they were looking at getting income, and they needed it for both. And so it basically just it kind of restates what it is, and then it starts to kind of tell me what it's looking at. So it pulled initial, it looks like 3 different products initially, and now it's going to start basically running the analysis, making the primary product recommendation, and then it's going to give me a comparison between those 3, and then how you should recommend it. And then I can make adjustments as well. And so I'll let this kind of I'll scroll down shortly. So here's the 3 products. Now let's go through this. So basically it kind of reiterated the situation, kind of put some, I would say, selling points or information on kind of what it's looking at, top 3 products on annual income, monthly income, surrender period, rating, Here's why it recommended this product specifically. Um, and so you can kind of get a breakdown of how it works, income comparison, key considerations, and then here's the products. And so if you've had any experience using like the Navigator tool, or the income calculator, it's very similar, except it just instead of going through it and kind of manually going entering in that information, it just basically does it for you. And so now I can jump in and ask additional questions, or I can let's say that after talking with Tom in this scenario, let's say that Tom needs 6,000 income a month at 65. 2,000 comes from Social Security. Can't spell still. Um, how much would he need to put into a annuity? So let's just into an annuity. So again, I'm not going to get super specific. I just am curious to see what it takes because I could go and, I could be more specific as far as saying what would he need to put in as far as like premium amount or anything like that. But I'll kind of let the AI fill in the gap. And if it doesn't get it totally right, then I can um adjust it. But it looks like it picked it up. So it took that I need 4,000. It's going to look for okay, so basically reversed it. So one thing I really like about the income calculator, if you've used it at all, is you can solve for premium needed. So you can, in that scenario, you can meet with your client and you're doing, let's say, more of a comprehensive, income plan for the retirement. And you basically have gone through, if you've used our retirement questionnaire, this does this really well, but you've basically gone through what their income needs are on a monthly basis. And kind of, where their current portfolio is invested, what current income options they have. Like, let's say in this case, they just, what their Social Security is, and that's it. And they need to basically utilize their retirement to cover the remainder of it. If you're doing that with a client and you come in and you're basically solving for that case, what's really neat with the income calculator is you can solve for premium needed. Same thing what we just did with the AI. In that scenario, when I'm actually doing that with the client, it makes it a lot easier to kind of put the puzzle pieces together. So when you make the recommendation on which product they should utilize, they know, hey, I'm not just doing this product to do it because I get the most income. I'm doing this because I have this income need, this product or scenario or strategy that I've given them as the advisor or agent solves that issue. And so now it's not necessarily I'm not really selling them anything. I'm basically just a problem solver. Here's the solution. And it makes the your closing ratio go up quite a bit because you're basically just kind of helping them find a way to what they're trying to accomplish. And you've done that with this solution. And so now basically it's going through this, it's kind of giving me a breakdown. So it looks like um, this is basically it's going back to the 300,000, which means so the recommended the product that it recommended was a VSAR product, which needed to get the full 4,000, it needed 329,000. So basically, it's pointing out that I only have 300,000. I'm short 29,000. What would you kind of just pointing out what that looks like? So I'm at a $357 a month shortfall. I can find additional funds. But basically, it's kind of just explaining everything to me. So I'm 91% of the way there. And if I wanted to kind of go through more, I can again, um, I can illustrate that. I can pull the product up. I can put this in an email form. There's a lot you can do specifically with the AI to help kind of prep for this. But now at least I know I have kind of a a good place to start. So it looks like that VSAR product right here. If I wanted to go into like Illustrate, I could go into Illustrate and click on that. It'll now pull it up and I can show more detail. If I just wanted to go like annuity details, I can go into that. If your IMO is set up with Firelight and synced up with our Firelight, you can start the e-app and do that as well. But it kind of gives everything right there at your fingertips. So it's very convenient. I can go in the brochure as far as when you're presenting to your clients or prepping for an appointment as well. Um, let's just say that, I'm new and I don't know much about the fee structures, and that's something that customer asks me. So I'll ask, what are the fees? And it'll now answer that question for me and do a comparison between how they're all set up between those three recommended products that it gave me. And I can see that. So here's the annual fee, base, maximum fee based off of that. So what does that mean in dollars? So it basically shows me a breakdown of each product and then what those fees look like as well. Um, and then it has clarification. So again, what's super valuable uh, about this tool is all this information is available for me. I could do this through the Navigator or the calculator, and then go into each product or the annuity information, brochure, whatever, and find all that. It's definitely there. This just simplifies it, so it compiles it a lot quicker. And now instead of having to spend 30 minutes going through each one and maybe putting it in a spreadsheet or just writing it down, this basically does it for me in what, 30 seconds. And so my time now is a lot more efficient. Like as agents and advisors, you spend a lot of time, prepping and doing lead gen and all of that. But ultimately, really the only time you're getting paid is when you're actually selling and closing business, signing deals. That's when, dollars are coming into your pocket. And so what we want to do with our tool is we want to take care of all the admin stuff where, yeah, it's helping you get to the point to sell, but it is sucking up a lot of hours of time that you could actually be selling. And so we want to kind of take that and put it onto the software where now, instead of spending an hour or 30 minutes prepping or looking for options, now I can spend 2 minutes and that just gives me another 28 or 48 minutes or however long into my day. You expand that over a month or over a year, that could be a lot more free time. It could be a lot more time that you could do sales. And so it starts to add up quite a bit if you can and how you utilize this as much as possible. And so it looks like, this is basically what we have. I can go into, again, put this into more detailed information. Here's alternatives that it's comparing to other products potentially. And I can put this into a report. I can put this into email form. It's kind of up to you on how you present and utilize that. So I'll pause right there. Any questions or anything like that on that? Let me just go through the Q&A right now. Looks like chat. Oh, sorry, Carolyn, I missed that case. I was a little slow on that. Let's see the Q&A. All right, so no questions thus far. Cool. Um, so again, I'm going to go back to if you've messed around with the Navigator tool, that's one of my pieces that I like quite a bit. If I pull that up and if I go into like, let's say it's the same, we're going to lifetime income, same thing. We're just kind of manually going through it. So if I go into, it's going to take that 300,000 that we started with. Let's say it's a one-time movement. I'm going to say it's joint. So I already filled that out. So this kind of how we already went through, but I'm just going to go level income, go A plus and above. It's going to give me three results now. Um, Another way that I've seen the AI work is so it has kind of the three recommendations. So if you've had experience using our Navigator tool, that's kind of the standard. But one way that we've added AI to is I can start the AI analysis, and now it'll analyze those options as well, and basically give me a breakdown of how it works, key strengths, considerations of each individual product. And again, a lot of this is typically like information that I would go and sort out if I'm not familiar with the product, and then it will give me comparisons. So again, typically these are common questions that are going to pop up from the client on their side. And so there we go. Comparison report. All this can be downloaded as a PDF. So if I do this beforehand, I print it off when I go meet with them at their house, or I just have it ready to go. Um, it's all kind of there for your meeting prep. Um, let's see. It went by fast. I was hoping to do another case, but I don't think we have enough time. But um, always open for, if you have again, we do these all every Wednesday at the same time. If you have any requests as far as, different parts of the tool that you're hoping to better utilize, very open for feedback. Um, Heather, I have two IMOs. Can I load all carriers for both IMOs? Yes. So when you set up your account, you can come into, so right now you can see I have all products turned on. If I go into create a new deck, basically what that's going to do is I will select like the distribution channel. I can name the deck. Obviously, I'll select the annuity types that I can sell, and then I'll go create deck. So I'm going to go test, create deck. And then I would select from all the carriers that I have that I'm contracted with or have access to. Once you do that, you'll save it. That'll create the deck for you. And then you'll just basically select the deck. So you can see now I have three decks, a all test, and you're covered, or you're going to show options that you want to show. So I would obviously, when you're meeting with clients or prepping, you want to only see options that you're contracted with. What I've seen some agents do is periodically, maybe like once a month, they may just go to all products and maybe just run a key recent case that they've done and just compare all carriers with who they're currently using, just to see if there may be a really competitive new carrier out there that has really good rates or something like that. And then that's something you can kind of keep on tabs as far as product wise and everything like that. That's something that I've seen really useful. But any other questions before we wrap up? All right, so Q&A looks good. Well, I appreciate everybody hopping on today. If you missed this, or if you come in late, or you're hoping to review something that we covered, all of these are posted on our YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and you type in Annuities Genius, you'll see our YouTube channel, and all of our past webinars are put there. I would say it takes a couple days for them to, we go through and edit it a little bit as far as doing like the, when I wait for a minute or two at the start, we don't want you to have to sit and wait for that. So they get edited. So it takes them a couple days before they get out there. But yeah, definitely go to YouTube and check out those. And we will hopefully see you all next Wednesday. Thank you and have a great afternoon.